Let's jump right in. In today's Explainer, we're going way back in time to uncover some of the most mind-boggling, jaw-dropping facts about human civilization. You know, we live in a modern world where the punishment usually fits the crime. If you get a parking ticket, you pay a small fine. Simple, right? Well, history wasn't exactly this logical, or, let's face it, lenient. Today, we're looking at exactly how ancient societies kept their people in line. And trust me, their methods are absolutely going to leave you stunned.
Seriously, picture this. You're walking down the street, having a perfectly good day, and you just beam with happiness, only to realize you've literally just broken the law. It sounds like complete fiction, doesn't it? A society so rigid that basic human expressions could actually be policed. But honestly, this gives you a perfect sense of the incredibly intense, high-stakes atmosphere of the eras we're about to explore.
Okay, let's dive into this. Everything we're discussing today is completely grounded in historical research on law and order in the ancient world. So these aren't just wild internet myths or fantasy stories. This is how human beings actually governed each other centuries ago. These specific facts have been going massively viral recently, and once we unpack exactly how these legal systems operated, you'll understand right away why people today are so completely shocked by them.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the staggering overreaction to minor crimes back then. On one hand, you have tiny, everyday infractions, things that today wouldn't even earn you a slap on the wrist. But on the other, extreme, disproportionate, and downright terrifying consequences. There was literally zero sense of balance. The ancient world didn't just want to correct bad behavior. They wanted to make such a loud, terrifying example out of minor mistakes that nobody would ever dare step out of line again.
To truly grasp how wild this got, let's take a quick historical world tour. First stop, ancient Rome.
So ancient Rome was famous for brilliant architecture, sure, but they had a highly severe system for justice. The Romans operated under incredibly strict rules to maintain their massive empire, basically believing that if you let the small things slide, the whole society would just collapse. For instance, falling asleep on night watch wasn't just a slap on the wrist, it was a capital offense. Or let's say you were a soldier who temporarily misplaced your equipment, or a citizen who stole a tiny piece of fruit from a neighboring farm. You weren't simply given a fine, you were subjected to severe, highly public physical beatings. It wasn't about rehabilitation at all. It was purely about sheer, unadulterated deterrence.
Let's move on and see how this builds. Second stop, medieval Europe.
If Roman law was rigid, the medieval period took bizarre, theatrical justice to an entirely new level. Medieval justice was an era where weird and terrifying punishments were just the standard practice for everyday minor offenses. We don't even need to get into graphic gore here because the psychological and social punishments were weird enough on their own. Just imagine being forced to wear a humiliating heavy iron mask, often called a scold's bridle, right in the middle of the town square for hours while your neighbors mocked you. And why? All because you were caught gossiping or arguing loudly? It was an era totally obsessed with public shame and bizarre spectacles for the most normal, everyday missteps.
Now for our third stop, we are heading over to ancient China.
And this brilliantly illustrates that this wasn't just a Western phenomenon. Strict obedience was deeply ingrained in the governing philosophies of ancient dynasties globally. Under systems like the Qin dynasty in China, something as trivial as dumping ashes in the public street could result in permanent physical mutilation. Whether it was the terrifying reactions to minor crimes in Rome, the bizarre theatrical justice of Europe, or the extreme measures of China, a clear cross-cultural pattern emerges. Across totally different continents and time periods, major human civilizations all independently arrived at the exact same conclusion. The best way to keep order is to absolutely overreact to the smallest possible offenses. It's truly fascinating and, yeah, a little bit scary to think about.
So, the crucial point is that history is full of these bizarre, hard-to-believe realities, and understanding them really makes you appreciate the legal systems we have today. If you're enjoying this deep dive and want to help others discover this bizarre history, please take a quick second to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, comment your thoughts, and share this explainer. It is hands down the best way to help the algorithm spread these amazing, viral historical truths to more curious learners out there.
Before we finish up, I want to leave you with one final fun thought. Based on everything we just learned about these hyper-strict ancient societies, which minor crime would have gotten you in trouble back then? Are you someone who jaywalks? Do you maybe gossip a little too loudly? Or are you the type who just smiles at the wrong time? Drop your answers in the comment section below. I absolutely cannot wait to read what would have landed you in hot water in ancient Rome or medieval Europe. Thank you so much for exploring